Hi, Greg here. In this video, we'll take a look at the third and final build from set 31005, the construction hauler. This build is the Humvee with the car and trailer. I guess that's what I'll call it. I'll just start off by saying I really like this build a lot more than the bucket truck, and I'll take a little bit of time here to show you each of the elements from it, and you can make a decision based on what I show you. The first part of the instructions have you build this tiny car that goes on the trailer. As you can see, it's super simple. There's no steering wheel or anything with it, but I'm okay with that just for the fact that I look at this as just a bonus. They didn't really have to put the extra car in there, but they did, and I can appreciate that. The most interesting feature of the car is mostly just its headlights in the front, which are kind of cool because you can tilt them if you want to. There's no tail lights, and not much for a seating area, no steering wheel, no windshield, but for just a simple little build as something to put on the trailer, I think it's a nice little addition. When you finish building the trailer car, you move on to the meat and potatoes of the build, and that is the Humvee, or what I'm calling the Humvee. At least in my mind, it kind of looks like one of the military vehicles. But this build, I thought, was not quite as good as the rig from the construction hauler, but much better than the bucket truck. It has a really good look to it. Looks pretty realistic in terms of a vehicle. I like the front end with the grille and the headlights. The grille actually goes down behind there, which I thought was a nice element. I don't really like the white curved section here, but I realized why they had to put that in there, and I think it works well with the shape of what a Hummer would be. And then the back, it has the tire right there, which is the one thing that I would sort of change. I like the way that it looks from the front like that so you can see the tire, but I feel like it sits up a little high when you're on the back. And there will be another problem with the hitch here that I'll show you when it comes to the trailer with it being up too high. Inside, you can't really see anything inside there. You can kind of look through and see that there's some glass or some what the windows are made of kind of coming through the back, and there's really no cockpit or anything for a driver to sit in. This isn't playable in terms of minifigure scale. The front windshield looks okay as long as you don't really quite look through the vehicle. It's got the side view mirrors on each side, which I think makes it look pretty good, and then I like the rack that's on the top here as well. It gives a little bit of detail where it really isn't necessary. I do like how they use the different textures on the front, on the hood. You have the flat tiles, and then you have a little bit of the texture as well, which I think looks really nice, and I like how the rest of it is all just tile on the top. It gives it a nice sleek look, and a really well done Hummer, or Humvee if you will. You could call it an SUV. It is what it is, but I think it was a really nice build for this set. The final part of the build is the trailer, which I have to admit is the weakest part of the build. I thought the construction hauler trailer was pretty bad, but that one was way better compared to this, mainly just because it's so simple. There is a tailgate on the back, which you can move up and down like this, and then that allows the car to drive up there. And if you see these little bumps right here, that is where the car would drive up, and then it sits on there pretty well and stays in position, which I like. But the trailer is just very plain, and probably for good reason. They really put a lot of effort into the first build and then also the Humvee part of this. But I'll show you the one thing that I don't like, and I kind of alluded to it earlier. If you have the hitch right there and you put the trailer on it, I really don't like how the trailer isn't level. I kind of feel like it should be like that, so when the car's sitting on there, it's not sitting on at a slant. I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's the one thing that kind of bothered me about this, not to mention that the tire's up so high. I feel like they could have moved both of those down a good bit and then had that sitting a little lower so it wouldn't look so misshapen. I think it's just sitting way too high, and you wouldn't have a trailer that kind of arcs up like that because it just leads to problems. So that's the one thing that I would change about the trailer and the back of the truck in general. I would kind of want it like that. So they should have, where this part was there, they should have moved that hitch down there so it hooks on like that, and I think that would have worked out better. But needless to say, it does look really good with it kind of haul it around in the back, and it's a fun build just the way it stands, I suppose. So that's a look at, in my opinion, of the third and final build from set 31005, which is the Humvee with car and trailer. They did a lot right with this set. I think it makes a great secondary build to the construction hauler. It definitely surpasses the bucket truck in terms of quality and just overall build much better. There are a few things that I pointed out that they could change with this, but as a secondary build and something to occupy your time if you're done building the construction hauler and want to build something else, I think this is a great set to build. So that is my thought on it. Let me know what you think, and I will have another video up here soon.